Working at the center was interesting because I'd never actually been able to work on these primary documents firsthand. I've heard about them from my advisor who has worked on, colonial Mexican manuscripts, but it seemed very abstract. So the actual opportunity of getting to handle some of these huge volumes, I'm thinking in particular of these famine manuscripts, so big, just the size of them, so large. It's really a privilege to be able to say, I've touched this stuff. I know what it smells like, I know what it feels like. It's certainly a different experience when everything's become so digital, where we can download all these images. To be able to actually touch these objects is a pretty remarkable opportunity. This document is actually an Ontario document from the city of Puebla de Los Angeles, which is my hometown. And to find these 3 contracts from my hometown from the period I study, which is the 1580s to the 1640s, as a grad student, that's all you can really ask for. Puebla de Los Angeles dates from 1531, so there are a lot of signs. When I was younger, we'd be walking down the street. At every corner or at every half block, I had to read everything. I had to read everything, no matter where we were. And so Puebla de Los Angeles allows a historically oriented child to grow and to absorb. It's wonderful to be able to walk through one city and understand all the layers of events that took place in that space. I'm very proud to be a poblano, which is what we call ourselves, and to have been able to read all those signs. The more I read documents here, the more I process them, the easier it is to go to Puebla and be able to understand what the Puebla scribes are putting down on 16th century paper. 2 very different documents. They're both notarial documents, but what we see immediately is how different the handwriting is. In this case, we have a very formal kind of stylized writing. It's very neat, it's very crisp. Really beautiful, actually. And of course, the signature of the interested party and then of the actual scribe. Whereas this is a purchase of a large amount of corn, of maize. And when you talk about everyday transactions, things tend to get sloppy. A lot of abbreviations, that's part of what makes this handwriting so difficult to interpret. So it's a perfect example of the kind of practice we get here as researchers. And my ultimate goal now is to be able to go back to Mexico and teach at the university level there, to reinvest. I would like everything I've learned to have an impact in Mexico, where I think there's a great need for this kind of scholarship.